Welcome to World Prism. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In a secure hangar, engineers surround a grounded F-35 Lightning II, one of the world's most advanced fighter jets. The air is tense as every technician knows the stakes are high. This isn't just another routine maintenance check. Something far more critical is at play. The problem isn't a software glitch or engine failure. It's a missing titanium alloy component, essential for the jet's structure. Without this part, the F-35 can't fly, and its advanced systems are rendered useless. The absence of a single specialized piece of metal has brought a multi-million-dollar aircraft to a standstill. The replacement part is unavailable, and the supply chain for this critical metal has been choked off at its source. Warehouses that once bustled with activity now sit eerily empty, and the usual flow of materials has ground to a halt. Procurement officers scramble, but suppliers everywhere say the same thing. Inventory is gone, shipments delayed indefinitely. Frantic calls and urgent emails yield no solutions, only mounting frustration and anxiety. This grounded jet is a symbol of a much larger vulnerability. It's not just one aircraft, entire fleets are at risk, and the implications stretch far beyond a single hangar. Western nations, focused on efficiency, outsource the mining and processing of key minerals like titanium. Over the years, domestic production dwindled, replaced by cheaper imports from abroad. Now, the main supplier has cut off access, using its dominance as leverage in a global power struggle. Trade routes that once seemed secure are suddenly closed, and diplomatic negotiations grow tense. The effects ripple through defense contractors. Production lines stall, contracts are delayed, and military readiness is threatened. The entire defense industry feels the shockwaves as uncertainty spreads. What starts as a missing part becomes a crisis for national security. Leaders gather in urgent meetings, searching for solutions to a problem that can't be fixed overnight. The military's technological edge is at risk, all because of a fragile supply chain. Years of innovation and investment are suddenly vulnerable to a single point of failure. The lesson is clear. Even the most advanced technology is only as strong as its weakest link. A single overlooked vulnerability can undermine an entire system. The West's reliance on a single supplier has become its Achilles heel, exposing a critical weakness that demands urgent attention and a new approach to securing the future of defense. Titanium and rare earth metals are the backbone of modern defense, quietly shaping the technology that keeps nations secure. These materials might not be household names, but their impact is felt in every corner of advanced military engineering. Titanium is as strong as steel, but half the weight, making it the ideal choice for aircraft and missiles that demand both strength and agility. Its unique properties allow engineers to design lighter, faster, and more maneuverable vehicles that can outpace and outlast the competition. Its resistance to corrosion and heat makes it vital for jet engines and naval vessels, where extreme conditions are the norm. Without titanium, these machines would be more vulnerable to damage and wear, reducing their effectiveness in critical missions. Rare earth elements, 17 unique metals, are essential for high-tech military systems. They're the hidden force behind the most advanced electronics and weaponry. These elements power the magnets in precision-guided munitions, advanced radar, sonar, and communication systems, enabling the pinpoint accuracy and rapid response that modern militaries rely on. Without these materials, military hardware would be heavier, slower, and far less effective. The technological edge that defines today's armed forces would quickly erode. Imagine an aircraft carrier. Titanium forms its structure, providing unmatched durability, while rare earths power its sensors and communications, making it a floating fortress of technology. These materials are not just parts, they enable the speed, precision, and resilience that define modern warfare. Every mission, every maneuver, and every decision depends on their reliability. Wars are no longer won with just steel and gunpowder, but with information, speed, and accuracy. The battlefield has evolved, and so have the materials that shape it. Lose access to these materials, and you lose the edge on the battlefield. The consequences ripple through every level of defense, from strategy to execution. The loss isn't just about hardware, it's about losing the senses and strength of modern military power. It's about risking the safety and effectiveness of those who serve. The stakes couldn't be higher. In today's world, control over titanium and rare earths is control over the future of defense. The world's hunger for titanium and rare earths leads to one source: China. China produces over half the world's titanium sponge and dominates rare earth mining and, crucially, processing. Nearly 90% of rare earth processing happens in China, creating a powerful bottleneck. This non-accident. Non-derivative of decades of strategic investment and state support. Western mines closed, unable to compete with China's low costs and lax regulations. Deng Xiaoping once said, "The Middle East has oil, China has rare earths." He was right. Now Western defense supply chains run through a strategic rival. As tensions rise, the flow of materials is no longer guaranteed. The West's ability to build and maintain its military now depends on Beijing's decisions. The vulnerability is real and growing. In 2025, China weaponized its control over critical minerals. New export controls targeted titanium and rare earths, requiring special licenses for any overseas defense use. Licenses are denied for military applications, cutting off Western access. The rules extend beyond China's borders, restricting even foreign products containing Chinese minerals or technology. This is a direct response to Western tech restrictions, a tit for tat in the global economic conflict. The timing, just before a US-China summit, made the message clear. Minerals are now a tool of foreign policy. The era of quiet dependency is over. The West is locked out, facing a crisis that threatens its defense foundations. Beijing's dominance is now a bargaining chip in global negotiations. The stakes for military readiness and industrial strength have never been higher. China's export controls triggered chaos for Western defense giants. Production lines for jets, missiles, and ships stalled as critical materials vanished. The F-35 program, reliant on Chinese titanium, faced massive delays and soaring costs. Maintenance of existing fleets became impossible without spare parts. Rare earth shortages threatened everything from missile guidance to electronic warfare systems. The crisis exposed a direct threat to national security. Militaries can't operate without these materials. Defense contractors risk defaulting on contracts, and governments face eroding military capabilities. The West's technological edge, built on these materials, is slipping away. Years of complacency have led to this strategic vulnerability. The globalized supply chains that once brought prosperity are now a weapon against the West. The wake-up call is loud and clear. The West is scrambling to secure new sources of titanium and rare earths, materials that are absolutely vital for everything from fighter jets to smartphones. As global tensions rise, the urgency to diversify supply chains has never been greater. Allies like Japan and Kazakhstan are being tapped for their resources, but even their combined output can't fill the massive gap left by China's dominance in the market. The world is realizing just how dependent it has become. Old mines, once considered exhausted or unprofitable, are being reopened, while teams of geologists and engineers urgently search for new deposits in remote regions. National stockpiles are being rebuilt from the ground up, but it's a slow, expensive process that requires careful planning and significant investment. Recycling and urban mining are gaining traction, turning discarded electronics and industrial scrap into valuable resources, and helping to close the supply gap. Research into substitutes and alternative materials is accelerating, with scientists racing to find new solutions, but true replacements for these critical minerals remain elusive. Governments are stepping in, offering subsidies, tax breaks, and forming new alliances to strengthen and secure their supply chains for the future. The US, Australia, Canada, and Europe are coordinating efforts at the highest levels, holding summits and forging partnerships to ensure mineral security. Rebuilding domestic capacity will take years, requiring massive investment in new infrastructure, technology, and skilled workers. The challenge is monumental, with high stakes for national security and industry, but the alternative is continued vulnerability and dependence. The race is on to regain control over the building blocks of defense, and the outcome will shape the balance of power for years to come. The world faces a critical crossroads. If the current crisis isn't solved, Western military power could be permanently weakened. Advanced weapons may become useless without the essential materials to build or maintain them. Alliances could fracture as nations compete fiercely for scarce resources. China's leverage could force uncomfortable political concessions from the West. The world risks splitting into rival blocs, increasing global instability. But there's another path. Invest in domestic mining, recycling, and advanced research. It won't be easy or cheap, but it's the only way to restore true industrial sovereignty. The coming years will be a high-stakes game of geopolitical chess, with no room for error. The lesson is clear: security can't be outsourced to others. The West must reclaim control over its destiny, before it's too late to act.